Getting together an emergency LAN party toolkit for one of those long gaming sessions with your friends can be quite challenging, especially when you're a beginner and you've got a variety of equipment to choose from. So here at CMA, welcome back to another system build. This one is pointed directly at the Twitch streamer LAN party goer crowd, and it doesn't break the bank. Shall we begin? First and foremost, I'd like to extend a massive shout out to Antlion, to Sivga, to Oshida Hi-Fi for sending all of these things you see on the table in for assessment and review. And I do apologize, they have been here for a very long time. We've been so busy over here reviewing other products that the reviews for these units actually got left by the wayside. But this seems like the best scenario to showcase all of these units together and why they might be suitable as a setup. One of many setups. I mean, you can use other items, to be honest with you, so we'll be doing some comparisons, but this, for now, is what we're starting the emergency toolkit with. First and foremost, we actually require a pair of headphones. So for this one, I have chosen the Sivga SV023 in the butt case. It looks like a horrible butt crack. We're gonna ignore that for the moment and put that aside. Yoink. This is the open back headphone from Sivga, the SV023 review up here. We actually reviewed this not too long ago. Beautiful wood cups, very nice leather. I think this was goat, if I remember correctly, ultra comfortable. And this is actually my default Twitch streaming pair of headphones or for Discord. So those headphones are pretty adequate for that job. And also they're quite remarkable for gaming actually. Due to their open nature, imaging and soundstage, they're quite excellent. So I'll set those aside for now. The other unit we require for this toolkit is a microphone. This is quite essential, especially keeping tabs on your friends, being able to communicate what the hell is happening as part of your group, etc. This was sent to us via Antlion. This is the wireless ModMic. It comes in this beautiful case. The case looks really cool actually, and you get quite a lot of accessories with this thing. This is the wireless ModMic itself. We're gonna place that and it comes with, let's see what else we get. We get a USB-A male to female extension cord, a USB-A to a micro USB charging cable. It's unfortunate that this is micro USB in 2023, honestly, because I think people are getting tired of those and we're trying to eliminate it. And manufacturers insist on keeping it around. And we get a couple of magnets and stickers in this little pouch thing. Finally, a very special thank you to Oshida Hi-Fi for this unit. This is our AMP-DAC for this setup. This is the SMSL C200. This unit is priced at $220. But please check the description down below for the latest pricing of all of these products, because these things tend to fluctuate a lot and it's very difficult to keep up with the pricing. So we're gonna throw that in there. We don't need that for now, and we're gonna take a look at the microphone itself. Very nice case. It looks like a glasses case, but is it leather? No, it's not leather. Pretty damn decent. This is the microphone itself. It comes with this memory foam sort of wire inside. It's pretty stiff, so you'll be able to get a good positioning pointing the microphone at yourself like this. There are a couple of buttons and switches on this thing. So there's this mute button, which also connects the microphone to the wireless dongle, which for some reason was not in the case. It's on the computer behind me, so I'm gonna throw it on screen right now. This is the microphone itself, obviously. Mute button here. This becomes extremely useful when you're trying to isolate yourself from the people who are online with you at the same time. Obviously, if somebody's calling you, etc., or you have to take a phone call. Then we have a switch towards the capsule of the microphone itself here. Omni and unidirectional. The unidirectional cuts out as much background noise as it physically can. So for example, if you've got a mechanical keyboard, mouse click, etc., or just background noise from your PC fan, and isolates that and isolates your voice the way, for example, Telegram and Discord provide their own filters for this scenario. And the omnidirectional picks up the rest of the room. There is a sound difference between the two, which we will get onto. But you have both functionality. So taking a hardware tour around the unit, obviously this is wireless, like I stated. It has a battery that is rechargeable, 12 hours battery life. I found that to be sort of consistent, between 10 and 12 hours. When Zeos did a 24-hour stream, I was on there for quite a while. I didn't find that the microphone needed to be charged, which was pretty remarkable because I did get off the stream occasionally. It charges pretty quickly, it's not bad at all, and you can also still use the microphone with the micro USB cable attached, which is a benefit. And the neodymium magnet in this thing is freaking strong. So as you can see here on the Sivga SV023, I've already attached a round magnet so that I can just attach it like so, or like that. It's extremely strong and it stays in position, and you can just bend the cable of the microphone towards your mouth like this, and it turns any headphone you have in your lineup into a fantastic wireless situation. Using this cable here from Viking Weave, I attach the Go Blue via Bluetooth to these Sivga 023s with a very short wire, and I have a completely high resolution wireless setup for walking around the house if I need it, and if I need to walk away from Discord, etc. That is pretty fantastic, honestly. This microphone as well is very light. It's not heavy at all, especially when you take into account an open back headphone like this, which is already very light as well. It doesn't weigh the headphones down. It doesn't feel like it's in the way, and they've done an incredible job. I wish this memory foam was a little less stiff, but I suppose being this stiff, it actually keeps its shape quite well. So very, very impressed with this. You have 3 LED lights on this, letting you know if the microphone is muted, if the microphone requires charging, etc. And apart from the micro USB charging, which obviously these days you're gonna have to carry one of those cables with you, I think it's a pretty decent setup. So that's your microphone. Those are your headphones. What about your amplifier and your DAC? But before that, there is this too. This is another interesting product, but I'm gonna come back to this one. There will be chapters down below so you can jump around. This is their Kimura gaming IEM with attached microphone. A very intriguing product. This other one here, this is a cable that they sell separately if you require it for your own IEMs that you already have, if you fancy gaming that way. This one, I believe, is a 2-pin. I've not taken this out of the box yet. Yes, it is 2-pin. Stiff memory wire here to wrap around your ears, and on the other side, you have your microphone. See, this actual wire inside this microphone is a lot more ergonomic. I wish the big boy over here was just as thin as this, because this is a lot lighter. This is a lot more flexible, and you can actually bend this a lot easier. So you can attach this wire to any IEM that is 2-pin. I believe they also sell MMCX. If you're a sadist and you fancy that connection, I mean, if you do, there's no help. I can't help you. I'm sorry. Kidding aside, they'd sell both 2-pin and MMCX for you so that you can actually turn your own IEMs. For example, if you have a very expensive in-ear monitors, you can still turn that into a wired gaming headset. And terminating this cable is 2 TRS 3.5 jacks. One of them is for the microphone and the other is for the IEMs themselves. They also provided an adapter so that, for example, a laptop that has just one jack that combines both the headphone and the microphone can be utilized simultaneously together. I tried using this with a lightning dongle on the iPhone and other dongles we have lying around here at the studio, and I found that it wasn't picking up the microphone, unfortunately. So it might just be a PC or a Mac situation, so bear that in mind. So that's the cable, that's the big boy microphone, that's the headphones we've decided to choose for this LAN party. The big boy microphone, the wireless one, this one comes in the United Kingdom for £139 I saw this morning, but that could have changed as well, so please check for the latest pricing down below. Right, this unit. This is pretty powerful. It's one of the cheaper SMSL products. I think this unit sits slightly below the two units we reviewed right here, the SMSL separate DAC and amplifier for the entry. I think it's more convenient for a LAN party, etc., to have a unit like this because you're not carrying two units around, you're not carrying two power supplies, etc. And talking of power supplies, let's do a hardware tour around the unit. So we have an inbuilt AC power supply, switch mode power supply in here. We have a Bluetooth antenna, Bluetooth 5, covering all the usual codecs right down here. So LDAC, APTEX, etc. Actually is very, very good in regards to its Bluetooth implementation. I was quite impressed. Then we have optical, USB-C, coax, a pair of RCA, and we have a pair of 6.3 TRS jack outs for the output. Flipping the unit around, we have a balanced 4.4 Pentacon, and we have a 6.3 single-ended jack here for your IEMs, etc. No 3.5 on this unit. We have a multi-functioning jog wheel plus button. So to go through the menus, we're going to talk about that in a moment, and a digital volume. Then we have a display on the right-hand side of the unit. 4 rubber feet, and that's about it. This little Bluetooth aerial is a little bit annoying because for some reason you can't stretch it out so that it's horizontal. So what happens is, unless it's like this, which is ideally how you should have the unit, unless you have something else on top that this gets in the way of, if you have it bent like this, it actually blocks some of the ports. So you might have to go like this, and then this way it blocks the power. So it definitely has to be like that or like that. You just choose which one is the best for your desk at that point. Covering some of the menus on this thing. So you press the menu once and then you can cycle through all the inputs. Press it again, you can cycle through the filters. This is using a Sabre chip DAC in the 938 series. And if you press it again, you got high-low gain. And that's it, it's pretty straightforward. So with that, let's finally unbox this one. This is the Kimura Solo. This unit is designed to combine what we stated previously, the ModMic wireless, the Sivga SV023 if you want over-ear headphones, but if you're planning to use IEMs, they have provided this unit for you. This unit has a variety of tips in here, an adapter, which I need to yank out. So this is the Kimura Solo. One dynamic driver, covering the usual frequency of 20 Hz, 20 kHz, an attached microphone. And the good thing about this unit is, obviously, one thing is a caveat, it's an MMCX connection. I do not like these type of connections. 2-pin plays all the way. Let's abolish this thing. This thing destroys drivers, which I will get onto in the caveat section about the Kimura Duo. This can be replaced if you fancy just taking a normal IEM cable from a third party or from anywhere else that's lying around in your house, and you can actually use them as just normal IEMs. We will discuss the sound characteristics of this IEM a little bit later, including the microphones as well. So you've got the same style cabling, this hard shell case to throw in your backpack, etc., terminating in two 3.5 TRS jacks, one for the microphone and one for the IEMs themselves. Exactly the same as that spare cable that you can buy separately for your other IEMs. I mean, it's exactly the same cable, they've just attached the dynamic driver unit onto this thing. So this is what I don't like about an MMCX. It's very difficult to take off and you could really damage the drivers if you're changing cables, etc. But the actual design of this, the ergonomics, is very, very well implemented. Well done, Antlion. This is really nice. You only see this usually in the higher tier category of IEMs. This is full resin. Nice design, not bad, but look at the underside of this unit. It's designed for the inside of the human ear. You got this bit that goes into the contour of the ear right there. You got this bit that sits inside the bowl here, and it's very tiny. And then you've got this bit which is split into two, which feels like a hook that actually just goes like this, locks into position, isolates pretty damn well. I'm really impressed with the design of these. The previous cheaper unit of this category, that I think this is about $100 with the cable, please check down below for the latest pricing, was the Tin Hi-Fi Tin T3 Plus that I reviewed here. I think this is designed better ergonomically, genuinely. This is a very, very decent unit if you're planning to game with IEMs. The bore is quite wide, so I do always advise for wide bores unless you want to focus the treble and squash that mid-range a little bit to get open bore tips. But talking of the tips, this tip that comes with it is very weird. So when you put the unit in your ear and you push the IEM into your ear canal, for a split second, it completely cuts out all noise. And I think what happens is it sort of squashes itself over the bore like this, and then it takes a split second to bounce back. So every time you push the IEM into your ear, you got this complete cutout, which is really weird, but it seals very, very well. I actually didn't need to use a third-party tip because these ones worked really well for me. That is the IEM. Ergonomically very well designed, one dynamic driver, microphone for your use case. If you're connecting this to your laptop, you've got this adapter that has both microphone and headphone for one jack entry. Unless your system has two, and then you can just not use that adapter and actually use the cable itself and use both cables. Okay, let's move all of this stuff out of the way and talk about the sound. First and foremost, we're going to talk about the SMSL, the C200. This is a pretty neutral, sort of analytical with a touch of warm sound characteristic for a headphone amp. It's pretty decent, it's pretty powerful. It outputs about 1.3 watts into 32 ohm. Here's a full list of specifications. As you can see, it can drive pretty much any headphone to a good degree. It's not bad at all. I mean, it drives the Sivga SV023s pretty well. This is an amplifier and DAC that is basically firmly sitting in the lo-fi category, so it's basically anything from $500 down, and I think it does a good job. I've even thrown such headphones as the Caldera on it while I was testing here around the studio, and it works pretty well. I mean, see, not to the levels of the insanities over there, right? But for a LAN party, for something that is pretty decent, good imaging, good spatial presentation, a nice tonal balance with a slight warm sound signature, ever so slightly. It's not quite as sterile as a THX amp. It's pretty decent. I must admit, I don't like the low gain. The low gain on this is bad. It crushes dynamics, and the dynamic range on this thing is not bad. It's about 126 dB, and signal to noise ratio is in the 120s. Noise floor is in 0.00 category. It's pretty damn decent. I mean, look at the full specifications here. You can pause the screen for those of you who are interested in the numbers. It does a very good job. So I don't think you have anything to worry about. It's one of them units that you actually have on the desk and go, okay, this thing is doing its job. I can plug my headphones in. It sounds pretty decent, sounds pretty neutral. I'm getting most of the characteristics of the headphone driver, and it's driving it okay. It's not bad at all. There are some competitors to all of these things you see on the table, which I will do in the comparison section, but it does a good job. Quite impressed, especially for $220. Is there better? For my preference, not for the power, I would say, but for sound quality, yes. This one, Q-Style M15. This unit is exceptional. It's the best dongle you're going to buy under $500, and it beats this in every metric. Bass response, transparency, resolution, natural sound characteristics, current drive. I use that dongle during testing every single day, and I think I prefer it over this by a very large margin. But this has more power, optical, coax and stuff. You know who you are if you require one of these. It's a very good unit for a very low price. I would like to put this up against the Zen DAC in this category as well, but that hasn't come in for review yet. That will be coming later. It's pretty damn decent. Second of all, the ModMic wireless microphone. I'm going to throw a sound test bite in here now. This is the Antlion ModMic wireless. We are testing the microphone. It's on the Sivga SV023, located on the right-hand side of the driver, connected via the neodymium magnets, which are freaking strong. The capsule of the microphone is going across my mouth, and it's roughly 2 centimeters away from my lips. This is a second test of the ModMic wireless from Antlion, located on the other side of the headphones, on the left-hand side now, using another setting. Testing 1, 2, testing 1, 2. As you can hear, omnidirectional and unidirectional sound quite different. It picks up more noise with the omnidirectional. It's a very decent sounding mic. People were quite impressed on Discord, to be honest with you. I usually use my AKG C1000 with the interface, and obviously that is a much higher category, etc. But for convenience sake, you honestly forget that this microphone is on your headphones due to the magnets. It provides a couple of magnets for a couple of sets of headphones. Honestly, with a mute button and stuff, it's fantastic. It's been implemented in my day-to-day life every time I talk to someone when I'm at the Mac, and it's been absolutely fantastic. Genuinely, this gets my full recommendation. If I come across another wireless one, we'll do a comparison, but voice sounds pretty natural. You've got a massive wide bandwidth for 20 Hz to 20 kHz, which is very exciting. The wireless ModMic sounds better than the one that's attached to this IEM, to the Kimura Solos, but obviously it's to be expected. Look at the capsule size, and look at the capsule size on this thing. Yeah, that's making this one feel very inadequate, isn't it? But microphone's pretty decent, so let me drop a soundbite in here and let you decide for yourself. Put it in the comment section and let me know what you think. The Kimura Solos. Now, I have some stuff to say about this. Some good, some bad, and some very ugly. So, this is predominantly been tuned for gaming. So, elevated sub-bass, nice lush mid-range for the vocals, good stage and separation. Have they succeeded? I think they have, genuinely. This is pretty good for first-person shooters. You get that huge rumble from the big guns, cars, planes going overhead. You do get the sub-bass. The sub-bass, in fact, is so elevated on this, I actually felt a little sick. It's very bizarre. And it seems to go low and sustain that quite well. It's quite shocking. And then I looked at the frequency response. I think it's elevated by 15 dB. And this bass boost rises into the 300 Hz range, which basically means it's going to bleed into the mids for certain types of genres of music. For gaming, I think it's adequate, especially for somebody who wants IEMs with a microphone to talk to their buddies and simultaneously have it on the go and portable like this. I think it does a very good job. But for music, some of the electronic music I listen to that reside in the sub-bass category and mid-range is pretty fantastic. You've got the subwoofer-esque bass response, you've got the lush mid-range, and the stage sounds pretty open, so that it feels as though it's got excellent depth. In fact, I think the mid-range might be better than this one here, Lidshaw S12s. It's genuinely very engaging. Treble region is to be expected, as usual. It's a lower category, it's okay. It's coherent, but you're not going to get things like the Ambient Acoustics MAD 24s at $3,500, are you? Of course not. But it's pretty decent. It never distracted me. Honestly, I think this is, for electronic music, it's really fun, especially if you're in the gym or something. You really do feel it. It makes your balls rumble, literally. It's kind of ridiculous, but it's really not tuned for all genres of music and for all tracks either. A couple of tracks will sound very good on it and you go, bloody hell, this is actually doing an incredible job. I'm really impressed. And then there are other tracks that completely bleed into the mids. It sounds congested. The bass response just bleeds everywhere, obviously because of that humongous spike going into the mid-range. But genuinely, for things like Infected Mushroom and Monster Cat and stuff, especially if the track's been mixed lean in the mid-bass category with sub-bass lift and mid-range, it's not bad at all. It actually surprised me. This goes up against the Aria from Moondrop, and I think for reference, Aria beats this hands down. I think for fun, this beats the Aria hands down. And ergonomically, this beats the Aria too. Fantastic IEM, honestly, but it's definitely not reference. If you're looking for reference for neutral, stay away from this. If you're looking for fun and if you're a bass head, I think you might actually like this, like genuinely, because the bass is not too floppy, it's quite tight, it's quite clean as well, so that it's colorless. I'm kind of impressed. I genuinely am at this price point. And the microphone situation makes it kind of a niche market, but interesting. Definitely interesting. I wish the memory foam for going behind your ears was a little bit looser and a little bit thinner like this is, because this is really stiff and I found the IEMs constantly popped out of my ears. So I used my own silver-plated copper cable to test the IEMs, and I think that improved the sound quite a bit as well, to be honest with you. Those cables were quite premium as well. And IEMs, due to their impedance, this is 8 ohms and it's over 120 dB sensitivity. This thing's insane. The cables do make a big difference, and maybe that's where I was getting that such good performance because of that cable as well. So bear that in mind too. Let's talk about some comparisons. If I'm looking for fun, I think I would probably choose the Litshore S12 over this. It's a little bit more reference. It's a planar IEM. It's a lot more expensive than this, but I find it more coherent and it's got the bass thunder as well. So possibly that one. Their treble regions are comparable. The mid-range I think might be nicer on this. This definitely has the biggest stage. The stage on this thing is pretty damn freaking great. The SMSL, this one, I think I would genuinely pick the CMA Q-Style M15 over this personally. I think it's a much more coherent, higher performing, even though it's a dongle unit. It's more expensive though, by the way. It's like $50 more expensive, but I definitely choose that. And the benefit being, you can connect it to your phone and take it on the go at the same time. That thing is a game changer. It's remarkable. I have not found anything comparable to this yet, but I'm looking. This is absolutely fantastic. The ModMic wireless. I think if you're looking for a wireless solution, definitely gets my vote. The Sivga SV023s for the gaming part. I mean, you could use a DT1990, which is in the same price category. It's pretty neutral bright, to be honest with you, but imaging is fantastic on that thing for gaming. It's pretty fantastic. So that might be another option that you could look into. But this setup, I think I would take it for an emergency LAN party and be quite happy. If you found this video useful, let me know in the comment section which part of it you liked, which part of it you disliked, and let me know most definitely if you've got any of these products and how have you been finding it. And a special thank you goes out to all of these companies for sending these units in for review. It's very, very much appreciated. And if you like reviews such as these, consider joining Patreon, where you get early reviews before anyone else, you get to chat to me in the private Telegram chat, and we get to discuss all of these equipment before it goes live on YouTube. If that's not your thing, jump into the public Telegram chat, where I drop in as often as I can and share my thoughts and feelings about products that have just landed in for review. Until next time, I'm ConvincMeAudio. Peace.